When I got my first job, I made a lot of useless purchases with my hard-earned cash. The good thing was that I never had a lot of money to begin with, which kept me from making that a habit. Nonetheless, I still have managed to spend way too much money on shoes, bought a record player that collects dust, and paid resale price for a Supreme box logo that no longer fits me and is low-key kinda cringy to wear. I'm lucky that I caught up to these spending habits early on, keeping me from carrying them with me as I grow older and getting in the way of me saving up for the future or for a rainy day. When it comes to personal finance, most of the time, it's not about how much you make, it's more about how much can you save. So in this video, I wanted to go over some common habits that could be keeping you from reaching financial freedom. Habit number 1 is denial. When going through a tough time, especially financially, it is easier, less stressful, and more comforting to simply ignore the problem for as long as possible. We might laugh it off and joke around with our friends and family, but deep down we know the truth, that we can't bring ourselves to open the banking app and have no clue as to how bad the situation really is. Though it is human nature to avoid the problem and deal with it later, in reality it only gets worse as the time goes by. In order to take control over our finances, it is essential that we face the problem altogether. Start off by creating a spreadsheet with all of your debt laid out as well as your fixed income. Then add all of your assets together and sum them up. Subtract the amount that you owe from your assets in order to calculate your net worth. After calculating your net worth, calculate your monthly living costs. In order to do that, we're going to add up all of your fixed transactions, such as your bills, subscriptions, and payments. After calculating your monthly living costs, you can then create a realistic game plan in order to pay off your debt and reinvest the remaining of your money. If at the end of the month you don't have much money left to invest or save, you might have to cut down on some of your spending habits. Now, unlike your monthly living costs, I'm talking about things that you can avoid, such as your morning and afternoon coffee or your monthly shopping spree at the mall. In order to successfully do that, you're going to need to track your spending. Tracking your spending is something that's much easier said than done. For the first week, we're going strong, controlling your spending, but then after a couple weeks, we just kind of fall onto autopilot and just let things go and end up spending that money right back. Keeping a close eye on your spending allows you to always know where your money is going and how much of it are you dedicating to immediate gratification goods, such as the $6 smoothie from Jamba Juice, that you could 100% have made it at home. Knowing where your money's going is also really good to keep track of how much money are you investing towards your goals or saving up for a rainy day. Habit number 2, people spend way too much money on luxury. Now listen, I'm a guy who really likes fashion. I appreciate well-designed pieces as well as vintage clothing and don't mind paying an extra dollar for something that I know that I'll really like and get a good wear out of it. Occasionally spending money on things that you really value and really like is not a problem. In fact, my uncle used to say to me all the time, I don't mind spending money, I just hate wasting it. We live in a world where we're constantly getting sold to, whether that be on social media, TV, radios, podcasts even. We're told that we need the latest tech, the best cars, and the best handbags out there. And that all of our problems could be easily solved if we just signed the lease for a brand new BMW. Unfortunately, we're told a lie that if we can't afford something such as a new car, we must finance it. But when it comes to owning a vehicle, you don't need to spend extra money on luxury. Most of us can get by with something that gets you from point A to point B. We see our friends getting in their cars with heated and cooled seats, beautiful leather interior, and with a 10-inch screen that plays Netflix while it charges. And that gets in our heads. Now we're thinking about the immediate gratification of owning that car and driving it every day. So we start to rationalize the purchase. I mean, everyone knows they need a new car. Besides, if I buy an old car, then I gotta fix it and repair it and do all these things. So it all comes down to just buying a new car because I'm gonna spend that money anyway. Then I was thinking, instead of getting the base model, a couple more $100 and get the high-end model, but Alcantara seats, heated, with that freezing cold AC. And there you go, that's it, you know? This car lasts a long time, holds its value. This doesn't only apply for big purchases such as a car. In fact, this forced rationalization can be noticed when buying minor things such as a new phone or a new computer perhaps. We gravitate towards buying the newest and better model because of what people are going to think of us if we don't. In order to avoid this forced rationalization when buying new goods, especially those who are meant to serve a purpose such as a phone or a car, ask yourself these 3 questions honestly. Can I afford it? Unless it's something big like a car. If you can't buy the product 3 times, then the answer is no. Now, if it is something as big as a car, if it costs more than 30% of your yearly salary, then the answer simply is no. Do I need the top of the line, or can I get by with the base model? Can I live without this product for another year? What is the return on investment? By asking yourself these questions, you are then able to have a bird's eye view of your purchase and decide whether that is a good purchase or not. Habit number 3 is that people simply don't plan ahead. A study says that fewer than 4 out of 10 Americans have enough money saved up to cover a $1,000 emergency expense, such as a trip to the ER or a major car repair. And the reason for that is because people simply don't plan ahead as they should. Emergencies such as getting into a car accident, a major repair in your home, or having to move to another city are almost always unexpected, but that doesn't mean you have to be unprepared. When talking about planning ahead, it is essential that we talk about saving money. And when talking about saving money, it is important for us to talk about living below your means. Living below your means, in a nutshell, boils down to spending as little money as possible. Now, while I don't recommend you eating out all the time, when I say live below your means, I don't mean for you to eat instant ramen every day. The way I try to live below my means is by treating the extra money that I have as if it didn't exist. Whenever I get a paycheck, I first set aside the money that is intended for bills. With the remaining of the money, $200 go to my checking account, which are intended for me to get by for the next 2 weeks. With the money that I have left, I usually like to transfer it to my Robinhood account and invest it in the market, or just transfer it to my savings account in case I need it. And when I say in case I need it, I don't mean when a new Nike Dunk comes out. Now, I'm not gonna lie, living below your means is going to be annoying and uncomfortable. Knowing that you have the money to buy whatever you want, but still choosing not to is something that most of us can't add up. But once you get into the mindset of saving money for a better cause, everything starts to make more sense. Suddenly, you notice that you're spending way less money recklessly. And whenever you do buy something, you think about it 2 or 3 times before actually pulling the trigger on it. By spending your money wisely, you can better prepare yourself in case something actually does come up. Habit number 4, people have a bad relationship with money. Now, the biggest reason why we're so bad with money is because we were never taught how to handle it. Most of us, when thinking of money, associate it with a reward for our work. And if you need more money, you can simply just work a little more. This way of thinking makes money the epicenter of your life. It makes it your worst enemy, but also your biggest hero. Hero or enemy, by viewing money as a tool, we allow money to take over our lives and our decisions. I want to introduce you guys to a different way of approaching money. Think of money as time. Frozen time. Say you remove the dollar amount out of work, and that money represents the frozen time that you have earned by working. So every time you purchase something, you are then unfreezing that time and exchanging it for that product. Now, on the contrary, the more money you save, the more frozen time you have left. By approaching money as a representation of our well-valued time, we're forced to think more about our decisions regarding money. Because we can always make more money, but we can never make more time. In conclusion, by spending your money wisely and saving most of it, you're setting yourself up for success. Not only are you going to be more frugal and more thoughtful of your spending, but you are also going to have a backbone to fall back on in case you want to start a new business, quit your job to focus on school, or even make a big purchase such as a car or a house. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope they served you good. Thank you for your time, and make sure to hit your subscribe button down here so that way you don't miss my next video. Also, smash the like button so YouTube starts to like my channel. I'll see you all next time. Take it easy. Peace.